Hi, I'm Yvonne from Pree Designs. Thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel and having a look at the card that I've recently designed. I'm doing this as a class today. It's called a Wreath Circle card, and I'm presenting it today as a Christmas card, but of course you could put flowers on it, you could do it as a special birthday, you could do as the circle wreath as a porthole and have it as a masculine card or a yachty card, a boaty card, whatever suits the occasion that you're making it for. So today's design, this is what I'm going to make on the video. It's, as I said, a wreath circle card, and I've used our Stampin' Up thick basic white cardstock so that it sits nice and firmly when it's on display. Both of these cards I have made using the same stamp set. So this is your more traditional colours for Christmas. And here I put a double layer of the circle. The first one I've just done a single layer. And here exactly the same die set and stamp set, but just changing the colours makes it look totally different. I do have PDF instructions if you're interested in those, and I do sell those for $10 each, and that will complement the video that I'm doing today. The stamp set that I've used is called Magical Meadow. It's a great stamp set and it has coordinating dies, and the dies are here. And as I said, these are what I use for both of those cards, the traditional colours and then the soft colours. The other thing that I have used is our set of Deckled circle dies. You get 14 different size circles which all nest together. I'm actually using die, and I number these from smallest to largest. I'm using die number 8 and die number 11 for my circle card. So the first thing I've done is I've brought my thick A5 piece of cardstock, which is half an A4. I've measured it halfway down, and then I've got to do what's called a partial die cut. So instead of cutting the whole circle out, if I was to cut the whole circle out, this is what you'd be left with. You'd be cutting the entire piece out. Okay, that was a mistake in class this morning. But I actually want to just do the top half of the circle. So as in PDF instructions, I'll give you instructions to measure exactly equal distances on your paper, but here I've just popped the die on the cardstock, and then because I want a partial die cut, I want to put the top plate at the pencil mark that I have made, which is halfway down. Then when I put this through my cut and emboss machine, it's only going to cut the top circle, not the bottom part of the circle. So I'm going to go away and do that. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I'm back with that, and now you will see that because I only put the top plate on the top half of the circle, I've got this other half which is not cut out. So I'm just going to fold and burnish at the halfway point. And then I need to cut the center of the circle out. So I'm going to open the card back up, bring in my plate and bring in my other die. Make sure that I've got it centered, and then I'm going to go and cut the whole circle out this time. So I'm going to put the plate over the whole circle die. Okay, so now to bring in my card base. So I've cut the center, the complete circle out, as you would normally with a die. And then I need an eraser. So just erase my pencil marks. Now the important thing when you're doing this is that you don't fold this part of the circle, because otherwise that will flop down and you won't have a nice sturdy card. Then I'm just going to trim off the bottom of the card because I want it to fit in my envelope, and I know for my envelope size I just need to trim it off at about 15 centimeters. Okay, so then I've got to do stamping. So that's the base of my card. So then I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. Get all those pieces ready. And the colours I've chosen are just the soft colours, and I got those from trying to think of what the papers are called. It's the Magical Meadow. No, it's called the Winter Meadow. And these are all the colours that I chose because of this beautiful paper. And that's the Winter Meadow. And that is designed to coordinate, especially with the stamp set and the dies. So the first thing I'm going to do is stamp in Lost Lagoon, my first image, and I'm going to be die cutting these, so I want to make sure that I leave a little bit of space around each of the images so that I can easily die cut. So 2 in Lost Lagoon, and then one of them in Smoky Slate, or you could do grey granite. Either work beautifully. And then the final little one, which are the berries, in Moody Mauve. Okay, and then I need to go away and I need to die cut all of those, and you will see each of these dies coordinate with each of the stamped images. And then while I'm at the machine, oops, that goes that way. While I'm at the machine, I'm also going to take a piece of Smoky Slate to cut out that one, Misty Moonlight, and then the Lost Lagoon, so that I've got all of these little elements as well as the stamped image or images. Be back in a moment. Okay, so I'm back now with my stamped images, which have been die cut. And while I was at the cut and emboss machine, I also took the 4 detailed dies and cut those out of plain cardstock, if I can pick them up. And that gives me, gosh, that gives me all of my elements to decorate my circle wreath with. The other thing that I did while I was away is the leftover circle. I've actually heat embossed in silver, the greeting that's in the stamp set as well. The other thing I need to do is to make the bottom a little bit more interesting. I'm just going to go through and I'm going to emboss the bottom half of my card with a brick and mortar embossing folder, remembering to turn it around so that your join goes through your cut and emboss machine first. All right, so now I'm back, and that's just put a really nice impression on the bottom of the card. Now I'm going to start layering up my card. So I'm just going to use a combination of mini dimensionals and also glue. So that's all of my pieces adhered on. Now you'll have noticed that I didn't put glue on every single piece. I tried to put glue and dimensionals on the pieces that would stick to the other pieces that I had already placed down, so that when it sits up and all these pieces are free. They've still got a little bit of movement in them, but they are adhered in only just. The other thing that I need to do is just trim off my greeting. Just bring in my trimmer for that, and I'm using my trimmer to line up my words. I can just see through the ruler, and I just want to trim that off a little bit above my wording. Doesn't matter if when you stamp this whether it's crooked, because you can trim it off straight. Then a couple of dimensionals on the back of that. pop that onto the front. Just having the semicircle or the part of the circle just adds a nice little bit of interest, and it uses up that little bit of scrap. And then the last thing I want to do, I'm using some blooming pearls. Now the green ones and also the blue tone ones are perfect for this project because they bring in the colours, and even they show a little bit of pink. I didn't use the gold because I've used silver embossing. So there's a lovely set of pearls. And then to finish off, I won't stamp it on screen, but to finish off, I always like to stamp my envelope. So that is my take on a Wreath Circle card. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for my next video. Thanks very much.